Tim Hatch. I played the clown and also assistant director of the film.
Addison Turner as Dirk.
Hello, Jamie Morgan, and I played Vanita.
Michael Karatic, and I played Stewie, the Uber driver.
Hi, I'm Yoli Canales. I played Lysandra. I tried to tell everybody.
One second. I'm Bryce. I played Jack the Werewolf.
Hi, I'm Greta Volkova. I played Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kirkendall. I played one of the ill-fated hunters in the woods.
I'm Mark Polonia. I was the director, sort of producer, editor, rewrote the script, lit, filmed, all kinds of stuff. Slash.
Mark, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about the challenges of filming in 5-degree weather in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
Yes, no one likes to shoot a movie in cold weather. It was cold the whole time we shot this, from December till the first of the year last year. Everyone did a great job. It was rough. It's rough being outside shooting at night. It's freezing. It rained. It snowed. You know, it's miserable. But you got to get through it, and you got to see the finished result in your head, and that kind of gets you through it. It was a lot of fun making this movie. Filmmaking is a lot of work. Okay, it is a lot of work. Even a low budget movie is harder to make than a big budget movie, because they have, they just throw money at problems. We don't have that luxury. We've got to solve things on the fly, and be creative, have a good time. Everybody here has input in what's going on. It's not what I say. It's a collaborative process, and I think that's, as a director, that's important, that people have a say in what they do. They instill ownership in what they do, and you end up with a good end product. Now, that case of cocaine that you see through the whole movie was in the trunk of my car for a month. And, I never took it out, because if I took it out, I'd forget it, and we'd need it for a shoot. And my wife and I went shopping at Walmart, and we're loading stuff in the car, and there's cars everywhere. It's like Christmas, and she looks at me and goes, "Mark, when are you going to get the cocaine out of the back of the car?" And I'm like, probably in about 5 minutes, when the state police show up, we'll be good. But it's making a movie, a feature-length film with little money. Again, that's not the important. The money is not the important thing. The important thing is you have creative people. They share your vision, and they're passionate. Everyone's sitting here, and there's some people in the audience that did not come down. They're passionate about what they do, and that goes a lot farther than $100 million. These people believe in the project. They believe in what they're doing, and that applies to anything you would want to do as an individual. It doesn't have to be movie making. It could be anything. But I've been doing this since I was 11 years old, and I don't do it for the paycheck. I do it because it's what I love to do. And if you get anything out of tonight, it is whatever you believe in, whatever is in your heart to do, you need to do it, because so many people will tell you can't. You will tell yourself you can't, and you'll never achieve what you really think you're capable of. I was at a screening, and they had a Q&A just like this, and a guy asked me, he said, what made you think you could ever make a film? And that's a great question. And I thought about it for a second, And I said, it never occurred to me I couldn't. And that's how you got to approach everything you do in life. You've got to believe in what you're doing, be passionate about it, and just do it. Because there's a million people on the internet that tell us we shouldn't. That's just the way it is. And I'd like to end what I have to say by, I have never taken cocaine in my life.
Mark, one thing that struck me about the film was the undeniable chemistry that you developed with your cast here. Talk briefly about the casting process of Cocaine Werewolf, and please share the mic down with this wonderful cast. And I see Titus over here. I'd love to grab him too.
And Ken.
I'd like everyone to share their fondest memory of working with Mark Polonia on Cocaine Werewolf and past movies you've done with Mark Polonia. And I'd love to hear from everyone here, including Titus.
Okay, I'll let
Start with Jeff. You can pass to Jeff, or talk about the casting process first. You want to address that first, please?
Anytime you cast a film, it's availability, it's the role versus the person. We got very lucky. We cast excellent people, and they as you can see, they brought their A game. We had no issues. We discussed briefly the character as deeply as you can with a movie called Cocaine Werewolf. This was in terms of endearment, so we didn't have to go too deep with backstory and that kind of thing. But they had questions like, what the hell are we doing here? Why is this happening? And as a director, you sort of have to explain that so they understand it, or make them believe that you know what the hell's going on and they follow along. But you cast people that you can rely on, that they have their own say in the character. You don't tell them how to act. You don't tell them what to do. You explain to them, okay, this is the character. This is sort of his backstory. We'll run through a scene. You watch it. You tweak things. You don't tell them to do it over, because that's their job. I mean, you can be Stanley Kubrick and shoot 190 shots of a guy getting out of a snowcat all week long, but we don't do that. They know what they need to bring to the role, and you let them run with it, and they make it their own. And if you have to reel them in or change something, you just simply sit down and discuss it with them.
All right, Jeff, your favorite memory of the film?
Well, my scenes were actually shot in upstate New York. The majority of this movie was shot in Pennsylvania, but we shot our scenes in upstate New York. And as Mark mentioned, it was, I believe, January. It was very cold, but it was a lot of fun. Working on a monster movie is always a lot of fun because you're sometimes reacting to something that's not there. Sometimes you're reacting to somebody in a suit, that kind of thing. It's a lot of action scenes and fake firing guns and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. Mark and I have worked together now in about 50 movies. We started working together back in 2012. So we've been doing a lot of films together, a lot of fun things. We've actually worked on some movies involving a killer clown, very much like the one you saw in this movie. We've worked on 3 or 4 of those type of movies. So that was funny to see that in this movie within a movie type of thing. But I had a lot of fun working on it. It was a nice little cameo part, and I had seen a rough cut of this movie before, but this is the first time I saw it. The final cut with music, which I really loved. The music adds a lot to it. That's great. Tim.
Arigato.
Yes, absolutely. So I really enjoyed working on it, and I'm glad everybody seemed to enjoy it. Thanks for coming. Thanks very much.
As far as the casting, so Mark will sometimes reach out to me and be like, do you want to be in a werewolf movie? And I'm like, yes, I would like to be in a werewolf movie. I've been in about half a dozen different Polonia movies, and it's really fun. Most of the time, it's people I've already worked with, so we have a really good camaraderie, and we meet at the same locations, and it's a really fun couple of days getting to have little reunions or even work with people I've never met before. And it's just, of all the different movies that I worked on, Mark's films are just really fun, with just the camaraderie and just the same locations, and just it feels like another home to me.
Good to hear from Jack now.
Jack the werewolf. Yes. Actually, I played Jack. Is Tim down here? Tim Hatch? Yeah. Okay. I played Jack the werewolf, but actually Tim. Excuse me. I played Jack. Tim is the guy who actually played the werewolf more often than me. I donned the outfit like once or twice, but or maybe half the film. Whatever. Anyway, my favorite part of the whole film was actually when I had the action sequence with Miss Yoli here, and taking the giant the giant wound that she took was just something special, and I've always wanted to do that, and I got a chance to do that, to stab a witch right in the gut. That was definitely my favorite memory. So anyway, that's that. Oh, and also doing a lot of cocaine. So yeah, you got to put that out there.
Real cocaine. Powdered sugar.
I prompted you to say that for the record. It was powdered sugar. The state police, as you mentioned before. One more thing, though. Even though it was powdered sugar, and I know Mark knows this, even though it was powdered sugar, this is what a method actor I am. I actually did snort some of the powdered sugar, and it was it just kind of trickled down the back of the throat. And you don't need to know the rest. But anyway, Miss Yoli here, what do you have to say?
I've done about 20 movies for Mark now, and I just every time I get the email from him, you want to play the witch, the old lady, the mom, I say yes, just like Greta every time. Yes, it's just such a pleasure. It's just such a pleasure to work with all of these people. I've gotten to know them all. Mark is just a lot of fun to work with. He's funny. He's self-effacing. He's every movie he says, "This is my first movie." This is my first movie, and it's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. Very much. Thank you.
Well, I only been in 15 movies. I think I've been typecasted as an old geezer and an Uber driver. And I thought I could be the most annoying Uber driver that would annoy the hell out of everybody. So, yes, I love working with everybody. Everybody is so cool.
Well, my favorite memory from Cocaine Werewolf is getting to flirt with the wonderful and beautiful Greta Volkova. Because I owe her so much. If it wasn't for her 7 years ago messaging me and saying, "Hey, do you want to come down to Pennsylvania to be in a movie? Mark Polonia needs another girl for this movie, Camp Blood 7. I was like, I'll give it a try. And I'm so glad I did, because working with Mark has been such a joy. Every time he messages me, I'm like, yes, whatever I can do, I'm there. My other favorite memory of Mark is when we did Jurassic Shark 3, Seavenge, and I got to shoot him, because how many directors will actually let you shoot them for a change? That was beautiful. I was like, I love you, Mark. And riding around his boat, that was joyous too. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
I continue to marvel at the fact that you show up on a set one day and you're like, I'm not sure what to expect. I know the other actors will be here as far as film crew, location, day, rain, feet, frostbite, but he really assigns every role to himself, and he does it effortlessly. And that is the true marvel. Being able to witness that he knows exactly how, the order of operation, to have the vision and then manage actors, firstly, is quite the marvel. And so being able to just watch you work through your day-to-day, and it's another day in the park on your first film, is quite the fun, quite the joyous experience.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. What a terrific turnout. Thank you very much. It's
Absolute pleasure and honor to be here with everybody. Many of these folks here have been troopers for countless years. Mark has rounded up some really talented people, and I've seen nothing but hard work and dedication and passion from everybody up here. This has been a long journey, and every time working with Mark is always an adventure and a good time. He really cherishes his people that are his performers and his helpers too. And so it's always a blast working with him. Everybody up here and the few others out into the crowd too. Majority of the time, I mean, there's days we're on a set and people just show up and it's a family reunion and they come in, they do their work. It's like lickety split, a blast, and they're eager to see what's next. And so it's always been a blessing and a bonus to be a part of all this. Thanks to everybody up here and everybody out there. Thank you very much, and hopefully more of this to come soon.
So like many people said, anytime Mark sends an email to me, I just instantly say yes. I don't read the script. I'm ready to jump on it. Haven't done a lot of movies with Mark. Relatively new to working with Mark, but it's always a blast. I think my favorite memory from doing this movie was my browser history. Lots of, how does one act while on cocaine? Or how does one snort cocaine? So that was really fun, and working with everybody here was great. I didn't do any scenes with Yoli, but I do want to work with you soon, Yoli. And Mark, I just want to say to everyone here that I worked on this movie with, seeing myself up there was a dream come true for me, so I thank you for that.
I'm going to walk over to another member of the cast that didn't have a seat here, Mr. Titus Himmelberger. Tell us about your favorite. Now, I got to tell you, he's in my favorite scene because my band Hollywood After Dark from Hollywood is playing the music when he's getting mauled. So that was my favorite moment. Titus, what do you think?
I think that was my favorite moment too, having my own theme song. How about that? But it was really great working with Mark. It's always great working with Mark. I think I've been in between 30 and 40 of his films. Might be a big part, might be a small part. My favorite part with Mark is if you mess up, he always says, "I'll fix it in post." But another favorite part in here was I was stalking myself in that scene. So it's always fun because if there's not enough people, you get behind the camera as well, or in the mask or whatever. But it's always great working with everyone, and looking forward to many, many more.
Mr. Ken Van Zandt, the sheriff.
I'm struggling to find something good to say. Mark and I go back so far, it's not funny. And Duke's cool, so. Anytime he's got a Duke, I guess I play him. But no, always a blast, and plus he always shoots on my property, so we're under contract.
Noise. Just a noise.
Hey. So my favorite thing to do with Mark is I always am curious how I'm going to die. And I really am passionate about dying in your films. And I'm always happy when you come up with a unique way for me to die. It makes me very happy.
Excellent. Great job. Before we take questions of the audience, because this is a made in Pennsylvania movie, a lot of our audience is from Pennsylvania. I'd like to go around, might be too personal. Tell us where you're from so the Pennsylvania audience can relate to local regional actors. Where are you from, Cody?
Well, I'm from here, Wellsboro, PA.
Capital region of New York, Albany, basically.
Elmira, New York. Not quite as far.
I'm from Cicero, North Syracuse, New York.
Colony, New York.
Wellsboro, PA.
I'm the odd man out. I'm from West Virginia. 4.5 hours.
Where? It's 4.5 hours of a drive. Oh.
I'm from Binghamton, New York.
Also Albany, New York area.
Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
Wellsboro.
Wellsboro.
So what do you think of your homegrown talent? All right, what do you think, Mark? Should we take questions from the audience, bro? Who's got a question for the cast?
Nah, that's as far as that one's gonna go.
You can stand up. Don't be shy.
Howdy, howdy. Okay. So great job, everyone. Super great job. I wanted to say that. Mark, I had a question. So, you and your brother's work have gotten a lot of recognition in the past couple of years because of like internet shows and stuff like that. I know that I have a lot of friends who were watching your movies one day and they were looking up the cast and they saw that a bunch of them follow me on Instagram. And so they texted me and were like, how do you know these people? So, but how has that experience of people discovering your work been like, and how has it maybe affected your work?
That's a good question. My brother and I started making films professionally. We were 17, right out of high school. We shot a movie that got released on VHS all over the United States. And the market's changed. You know, some people here may not even know what a VHS player is, but that was the way that our work could be seen. So over the course of 30 years, delivery, the way you deliver a film, has changed. And like this is a like great to watch something on a big screen. It changes the way you look at a movie. I've seen this 100 times because I put it together, and you watch it on a screen, it's like you're watching it for the first time. It's incredible. But the internet, I think, brought an awareness to not just me, but other grassroots filmmakers who were doing the same thing we were doing, but we had no idea. They're in Ohio, they're in Florida, they're in New York, they're in Hawaii. And over time, and it takes time. You know, none of this happens overnight, and you know, we're not Steven Spielberg, okay? But people see your stuff. Some people don't like it, but a lot of people do. And the internet and streaming and the newer technology has certainly helped grassroots filmmakers get a foot in the door and stay there, because in the past, when you only had VHS stores, the Hollywood system took notice and they saw these low budget movies on the shelves and they did not like it, and they would force stores to not take our product, or they would not give them copies. So they you get kicked out of the club, so to speak, but you always find a new club to join. And that's the sort of your survival is adapting to, okay, this delivery form is no longer viable for us because we've been kicked out. We'll try this. And independent filmmakers are always on top of stuff way before Hollywood, because they don't see it. They don't see it. They see it once people start making money off of it, and they don't like it. So, yeah, God bless the internet. There's a lot wrong with it, but it's a way for people to discover things that they may normally never have encountered, and it has helped. It has helped grow our sort of following and fan base. I hope that answers your question.
Let's take another question from the audience. Stand up, sir. Come on down, Don. Don Smith from the Williamsport Sun-Gazette newspaper. Our official media presence here in Lycoming County, well, Tioga County.
I would be remiss. We also got a wonderful person here that's covering for another newspaper here. So you officially have paparazzi here. I just wanted to know. I have a question. Not to go too far down this rabbit trail, but it seems like the bigger movie franchises like Star Wars, Star Trek, those type of movies have kind of hit hard times, and it seems like there's more arguing with the fans than anything. And it just seems like Hollywood and that area is just kind of going downhill. Do you think that the entertainment slack can be picked up by what you call the grassroots movie makers, the indie movie makers? Because by doing stuff like this, it allows, as you said, other people to get the foot in the door, but allows other actors who may not have the exposure that they would have gotten in another project. It allows them to like get noticed, and kind of along the lines of with so many people kind of leaving California and not happy with the Hollywood system, would it kind of make sense to start doing like smaller studios, like especially here in Wellsboro type of thing? Because you've got so many actors here, it just makes sense just to have like pick up these little areas to kind of, it would renew it would bring a lot of tax revenue into the town in a good way, and it would also, like I said, kind of pick up a lot of the slack that Hollywood is losing, because basically they're kind of annoying their fans. And when the fans say, hey, you guys are annoying us, instead the movie makers say, oh, you're just a bunch of big babies and hiding in your mom's basement. Whereas I wouldn't see that coming from indie movie makers who are more eager to take the dollar. If I'm making sense, I apologize if I
you make perfect sense. I think there's no simple answer to that question, but the bottom line is that independent filmmakers like myself and other people, we're making something that's our vision. Hollywood has to make movies that will fill this theater over and over and over again, and what happens is you get homogenized product that everybody has to go see because there is nothing else, but nobody wants to see it. I mean, my son and I watched one of the new Star Wars movies a couple years ago in this theater. We walked outside and I looked at him and I said, what the hell did we just watch? I don't even remember what I watched. I mean, it was big, it was a spectacle, and George Lucas made it, but it didn't resonate. Like, the people in the theater just sat there. Like, there was more life in this theater than I ever saw in anything I've seen at the movies that Hollywood produced in a decade, really. And, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and Francis Ford, they were independent filmmakers. They started right where we did, and their best movies were made when they were independent, because once they bought into the Hollywood system, the game changed, and those guys could never, even if they wanted to, they could never go back and make something like that again. The system will not allow it. So the independent will always struggle. Some people slip through the cracks, and like Sam Raimi, the guy that made Evil Dead, he's made great non-genre movies, but there are very few exceptions, and it's a very tight system, it's a very closed system, and they're bean counters. The people that run Hollywood studios are not artistic people, they're not aesthetic people, They're not creative people. They're money people, and that's what drives what they do. And we have everything but the money, so we're ahead of the game. And if you keep at it, independence will. You look at a guy like Ed Wood, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Okay, most people have heard of it. The guy died broke. The guy had dreams to be a big filmmaker. He didn't think he made it, but 40 years after he died, Tim Burton makes a $40 million movie about the guy. If you said to someone on the street, who's Ed Wood, or you mentioned Plan 9 from Outer Space, they know who he is. If you said, who directed Rollerball? I don't know. So who won? At the end of the day, who left an indelible footprint on the entertainment industry, and who, despite the obstacles, followed their dream, even though they didn't live to see it. It happened. They didn't catch up to it. It surpassed them after they passed away.
Thank you, Mark. Another question. Any questions for the cast? Come on up here. Come on up here. Come on up. What's your name, young man? Jordan. You got a question for the cast or the director? Or?
Where do you got the costume from?
The costume was made by a guy in Texas, and everyone wore it. Even I did once. I would never do it again, because after about a week, it's like someone's gym shorts or something. Okay, who wants to get into the costume? That was like the worst question of the morning, and everyone's like, no, I don't want to do it. So ultimately, one day I think I had to, but you couldn't see in it. You couldn't breathe in it. You could walk in it, but you had to run, jump on people. You had to do all these athletic things, and it was just a matter of guiding the people. The only good thing about that costume was it was so damn cold, you wanted to get in it because it kept you warm. It was the warmest place on our set, was in that costume.
I love Tim Hatch's line about, it's so cold the mask is cracking. Another question from the audience.
This is going to be an easy question. End of the film. Was that a teaser for another film? And if so, when's it coming out?
That was Cocaine Frankenstein, and I don't think it'll ever be coming out.
We're not sure about that one yet.
Some things stick and some things don't.
That's great. We have another question over here, I think.
Cocaine Bear did, but a year before Cocaine Bear came out, I made a movie called Narco Shark. And this is no lie. I'm sitting at work and I get an email and I open it up and there's this poster for something called Cocaine Shark, and someone said, "Hey Mark, congratulations." And I'm like, this isn't my movie. And I wrote back, I said, "I'm sorry, you got the wrong film." And he said, "Oh, look at the print, like the cast and the credits. It was our movie that got retitled, because that movie was finished before Cocaine Bear was a thing. But when Cocaine Bear came out, the distributor changed the title. And it literally released a month after that, and people were like, how did you make that so fast?" And I make movies fast, but not that fast. It was just it was a matter of timing. But yeah, Cocaine Werewolf was brought to me by another producer. When he sent me the script, he's like, "Mark, I want you to make this." I'm like, I don't want to make a movie called Cocaine Werewolf. But he was persistent, and and every time he called me, he was more desperate. You got to make this, Mark. You got to make this. Like there was someone on the outside of the camera frame with a gun to his head. I'm like, all right, I'll make the movie for you. And I'm glad I did. We had to rewrite the script because some of it had to be changed, but that is the end result. It was worth every second. It was.
And Cleopatra had nothing to do with Cocaine Shark. I got to put that out there. Any more questions from the audience? Oh, here we go. Come on up here. You don't need to shout. What's your name, young man?
Darius Rawson. Blood might be made out of fruit punch.
No, the blood was made out of. We bought. You used to have to make your own blood. Clear food coloring. Clear Caro syrup. I'm sorry, clear Caro syrup, red food coloring, and a little bit of peanut butter. The peanut butter took the shine off of it. But now you can buy stage blood because the other stuff would stain the hell out of your clothes and your skin. The problem with our blood was it froze. It was so cold. We'd have to keep it in the car and let it run for a half hour because it wouldn't come out of the jug. It just wouldn't come out of the jug. So you can buy it. You can buy it off the end.
Another question I saw back here. What's your name, sir?
My name is Jacob. This is for the director. What was your inspiration for starting this business?
Say that. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What was your inspiration for starting the movie business?
Oh, starting the movie, that's a good question. I'm 56. When I was 5 years old, it was raining out, and I couldn't go out and play, so I turned the TV on. Now, this is back when you had 3 channels. That's it. And a Godzilla movie was on. Godzilla, where he fights the caterpillars, Godzilla versus Mothra. And I remember being scared, this guy's trashing buildings and squashing people, and it horrified me. But there was something about that, and I remember that very day. I saw that, and something clicked. And I remember I came from a working family. My mother worked, my father worked. They both worked very hard. I wasn't convinced, even at an early age, they were very happy about what they did, but they did it. And I remember thinking, whatever this is what I want to do. And from that point on, you have to go to the library, get books. Started writing scripts, bought a camera with money we earned, started shooting movies. It was a very progressive thing, but it started early. I'm fortunate that I wasn't 30 when I realized what I wanted to do. I didn't know anything about life, but that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. I'm a very fortunate person because I was able to take my passion and make a profession out of it. And every day I'm grateful for that. But a seed was planted, a dream was hatched, and you grab onto that and you keep going. Even today, I'm 56, but I still act like I'm 10. I'm just never going to grow up. And I think that part of it, that childlike naivety and wonder and sense of scope of all this never left me, and to this day it still has not.
Thanks, Mike. Another question I saw. Oh, here we go. That's a great story, by the way. What do you guys think? Mark Polonia. What is your name?
Ava. So I saw a couple people that had shirts. So I was wondering if I could get the shirts anywhere.
Merch.
Amazon next month. Amazon.com. That's a great question.
She may be talking about my 15-year-old daughter, Naomi, who's sort of my assistant producer here. Another question over here, yeah? Here we go.
How long did it take to get the theme song, and did you watch clips to get that theme song?
When we first came up with the concept of Cocaine Werewolf, our company, Cleopatra, out of Los Angeles, reached out to some rock stars on our label, like Clem Burke from Blondie. Everyone hear of Blondie? That was the drummer in Cocaine Werewolf. We released this single, I think, before Mark even started shooting this. We had already written the song, Cocaine Werewolf, at Cleopatra, put together an all-star band, and before the movie was finished, I started digging into Cleopatra's 500,000 song database, and I did a data search. Every word that had the word werewolf in it. And we came up with about 20 songs, had to break it down to closer to 40 minutes. And I selected what I thought would work for the movie. I sent it to Mark Polonia here in Wellsboro, and Mark did his magic, and he found a spot for every song that I pitched to him, and I think it worked great. Do you guys like the music? That's a great question. The soundtrack's available. You can stream it for free on Spotify, Amazon Prime. It's on Google Music. There's a lot of great artists. We tried to make it diverse. There's a little rockabilly in there. There's some heavy metal. There's some dance music. There's some electronic music. There's gothic music in it. There's industrial music in it. And I just play it to your heart's content on Spotify. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm from Wellsboro. And my daughter, I have 4 kids, my youngest daughter and myself. Our big thing is watching Polonia Brothers films. So thank you very much. That's very cool. My question is for Mark and Jeff, because we've seen a lot of movies with Jeff and them. Top 2 or 3 favorite movies you've ever made?
Go ahead, Jeff. You take that one?
I think my favorite role to this day still is a movie called Jurassic Prey. It's a dinosaur movie where I played, my character was a washed-up B-movie actor. And I have a line in it, and I say that I've been in a lot of movies nobody's ever seen before. So I really thought that was that was a fun character. And then another one I like is the movie Sharkenstein. I played this character called Klaus. He's kind of a goofy mad scientist character, and I had to do this German-American accent, and it's like way over the top, and it's just a lot of fun. And I never would have imagined. I've been in, I think, like half a dozen shark movies for Mark, and 4 or 5 Amityville movies. I never would have imagined doing that. So it's been a fun ride, is all I can say. Yeah, I play this priest named Father Ben, who was in a few Amityville movies, and we did he was in a shark movie too. So I never would have imagined playing a priest either. So that's been fun. But yeah, it's been a really fun ride. Thank you for asking that.
That's awesome. Some Jeff Kirkendall fans in the house, huh?
Thank you. Thanks so much.
I saw another question back here. Yes, sir. We're going to go worldwide with Cocaine Werewolf on August 13th. The home entertainment version is out on DVD and Blu-ray. You're going to be able to rent it and download it. Your favorite platforms like Amazon Prime, like Google Play. In November, we're going to release it on what they call AVOD. This is streaming where you can watch it, but you got to listen to the commercials too, unfortunately. So August 13th, you can download it, you can rent it. I advise you to go to Amazon because on the Blu-ray version, Mark Polonia has done a special director's commentary that you can't stream, you can't download it, you gotta buy the Blu-ray. You guys like Amazon? It's a great store. So that's your answer, August 13th. The soundtrack's available right now, and I think there was a question about a sequel. We're gonna see how this one does first. Is that it, folks? Thanks for coming out, man. It's been amazing. Wellsboro, Cocaine Werewolf. There's going to be an after party at the Gaslight across the street. I think it holds 20 people, but we might be able to find seats. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for supporting theaters, people. Like in our business, we really appreciate coming down and sitting in the seats and actually buying tickets and the popcorn. And follow your favorite actors right here on stage. Let's hear it for Cocaine Werewolf.